What's up, guys? Before we get started today, I just want to remind everybody, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to ER Comedy. It doesn't cost you anything, but it means the world to me, and I'm appreciative for everybody who's ever done one of those things. Before we get today's episode started, I want to read off, I got a couple upcoming comedy dates. September 5th, I will be at Helium Comedy Club in St. Louis for the Best of STL Showcase. September 7th, I'll be hosting for Randy Shine at Helium. September 13th, I will be in Evansville, Indiana for the Comic Invasion show, promoting that when it comes out this fall. September 14th, I'll be in Whittington, Illinois, again for Comic Invasion. On September 20th, I'll be in Clarksville, Tennessee for Comic Invasion. September 21st, I'll be in Bowling Green, Kentucky for Comic Invasion. September 27th, I will be in STL at the Crack Fox, so make sure you come out. That's also to promote the show, Comic Invasion. September 28th, I'll be back in STL with my good friend Rob T over in University City. He runs a showcase over there. It's going to be a great time. I know it's going to be a lot of fun. On October 4th, I'll be in Nashville, Tennessee. On October 5th, I'll be in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. And November 9th, I will be in Clarksville. Oh, it was perfect until that moment. I will be in Clarksville, Tennessee on November 9th. So, guys, make sure you come out. It should be a lot of fun. My guest today is Michael Yetman. He's based out of Nashville, Tennessee. He's a comedian friend of mine. We've known each other for like 15 years probably. Right before this episode started, we had an unfortunate confrontation with a security guard who kind of... He picked the wrong choice of words, so let's just say that. So we kind of get into the drama of that a little bit, but we end up having a really fun episode, and I know you're going to like it.
Okay. I'm Michael Yetman from Nashville, Tennessee. You can find me on basically just everything by my name, but Instagram at YetmanMT. And then coming this fall, I'll be running a monthly show at Third Coast Comedy Club called Nashville Hot. And then, I don't know, stuff happens, things come around.
Things come around, don't they always?
Uh-oh.
Ba-dum.
Slide show up.
Slide show up, sluts. So, okay, let's just... I'm going to try not to give out as many details as possible. But let's talk about outside.
Can I act as the interviewer for this?
No, just I just need to... It's going to burn me up, and I would rather just get it out now.
Get it out.
But that really pissed me off. Man, it's hard to not talk directly into the camera for something like this, but it's like, if you come up to me and you are polite and you use manners, I'm going to be very polite to you. We're going to have a good conversation, and chances are you can get me to do pretty much whatever you want, just because you used manners and you seem like a good person. However, if you come up to me and you treat me as though I am beneath you and that you are somehow in charge of me, we're going to get real hostile real quick. Because I am my own boss. I have set my life up that way. And there are lots of shortcomings with having that. But one of the few benefits is that I get to do what I want to do. And I don't have to take orders from people just because they think they're in charge. So, if I happen to be out on the street and you see me and you would like me to move from where I am, if you ask me to go stand somewhere else, I will go do it. But if you tell me that I have to go stand somewhere else and you're carrying a CO2 canister, don't get mad if I get angry and we end up having confrontational words. Especially because I don't fucking work for you. Maybe that's insane. Maybe I have things that I need to work on. That is very true. I will accept that I am not a perfect person. But I will also ask you to accept that you don't fucking control me. And I'm not going to do what you say just because you said it.
Yeah. Well said.
Okay. Oh man, that got me heated.
I was gonna suggest, like, let me give a quick recap of what happened in a very safe way, but I feel like the amount of emotion you just expressed, I don't think people need to really know what happened to understand that there's a thing that happened and you have a moral code.
I feel like that was very reserved because I was thinking about how hot I am and how hot I decided to come in and describe this. And I was like, you know what? It's better if in the long run I just keep it low energy, low level, so that way.
Here's the thing, like, from my perspective, from standing there, is you and I happened upon a cornhole tournament
Yes.
happening in the same space where you are allowed to be all the time unreservedly because you have ownership in the space.
Well, yes.
Okay, so, but we happen upon this cornhole tournament, and we are joking about cornhole team names, about the importance of the smoking before a match, this and that, right?
Yes, because there are people out there ripping darts, taking shots,
yeah,
bringing their own beer, which I know is not allowed in Ballpark Village.
Also, well, now you're gonna have to bleep.
Well, okay, maybe
you definitely dropped in the only detail you were avoiding.
No, because the detail I was avoiding was who and what said what to me.
So,
and
regardless, my whole point is I knew this was something that bothered you because not only did it stop the shenanigans and the fun, but, like, you know how when your dog just, like, really keys in on something and, like, he'll be like, my dog Milo, I'll be like, Milo, and he'll be like, he'll acknowledge I exist, but he won't look at me. Yes. He won't engage with me. You were staring down the path, so sure this guy was about to turn around and come back, and you were just, I mean, the problem is this guy doesn't know. You had the whole argument already fleshed out. We've walked through the whole argument together.
Yeah. He doesn't realize I speak for a living. I'm mapping out my...
It was hilarious because it's like waiting for a guy to come walk back into, like, he skated past danger, and then surely he's not going to be foolish enough to come back, but you're hoping.
Have you ever seen those videos from, like, India where there'll be, like, a tiger in a cage that's not paying attention, and then some trainer comes up and smacks it with, like, a cane?
Yeah.
And then the tiger focuses on that guy.
Yeah.
And then the guy's just standing there and he walks away and the tiger's just like, you will eventually come back through here.
I know.
And it will not be good for you. Like,
yeah, it was. This person has no idea that you are here all the time.
Well, the thing that annoys me the most is that I've been here for 2 years. And everyone here knows me because I am a friendly person and I will shake your hand and I will introduce myself. Hey, I'm Eric. Yeah, I work up here. I got a podcast. Oh, I'm a comedian. Oh, yeah. Blah, 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 blah.
You know the disadvantage.
And I make friends with so many people. So many people. I could tell you the names of so many people all around the area. Like the front desk lady downstairs. Yeah. She knows me. And she was like, yeah, I saw him talk to you. And I was like, we're not going to get into who I am and who I know and everything like that. But
world famous Eric.
I just mean that if you talk to me like a human, we're going to get along. We're going to have fun. But the second that you try to, like, big dog me or one up me, it instantly takes me back to the Marines where I had to listen to people just because, all right, you, whatever. But this guy is brand new to the area, has no idea. Mm-hmm. Like, he's been here a month, maybe.
Yeah.
I guess. And that's the only reason he doesn't know me. And so for him to tell me what I can and can't do is like, you just got here. Time out. And I know for a fact that you and I are going to have some words later.
Now, am I using this terminology right? He would be what you would call a boot?
Yeah, he is definitely a boot. Yep. So if you're out there and you figured out who we're talking to, you're a boot. And I hate you. You could have made a friend today.
Lace up, bitch.
Dude, it's so hard for me to this is why my wife is such a good fit, because she knows what can set me off, and then she'll sit there and it's like you said, it's like a dog. Like she has to like rub my ears.
Yeah, she treats you like the Hulk.
Distract me with like
She's
another
like,
treat.
sun's getting real. What is it?
Yeah.
Sun's getting real low, big fella.
Hey, big fella.
Yeah, hey, big fella.
Hey. It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah.
Hey, look, coffee. Hey, ooh. Hey, why don't we go get a bagel? You want a bagel? Look at this coffee. Yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that honestly though, that's probably gonna be one of those things that
We have a show tonight. You can't let it bother you.
I'm gonna be in Colombia and be like, if your name is and you work at I just want you to know. Like
You're just pushing past people. Don't tell me what to do. And like guys, like I don't even know you, guy.
Yeah. And I hate that I worded it like that, because if somebody tells me what to do, I will,
Sure.
I hate that I said it like that. Like
The person presented
like
themselves.
nobody can tell me what to do.
But this guy walked unannounced. No authority presented. Just walking past you with a CO2 tank.
Yeah, and just made a quick.
Hey pal, this is private property.
Hey, this is private property. Like, yeah, I know. I pay a lot of money to be here.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I put myself in debt just to be here.
I think it's funny too, because in that interaction, you were right when you were like, he didn't expect you to respond, because the minute you responded, because you go, I know that, he was like, well,
you still have to leave. No, I don't.
No, yeah.
Yes, you do.
Here's
no,
the thing.
I don't.
You weren't even aggressive. You were just like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like deadpan. Yeah, I know. No, I don't. And for people who don't know, you're a tall, big dude, but you're nice. So like, it's a tough thing for a guy to look at you and be like, oh, this guy is not going to pound me to death. He is going to use logic. Like, he's not going to be an asshole and get pushed off the property.
I don't want that.
I don't want that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that would be the expectation, seeing you from a distance coming up and then being like, hey, pal, and then you respond.
When I stand up straight, I am 6'6". I consider any day I step on a scale and the first number a 2, it's a good day. So I'm always right there around the 3 bills mark.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a big dude, and I was in the military. So it's like, yeah, I know a little something about a little something, you know? But I don't like being that guy.
Sure.
I hate it. In fact, I've told so many people that I never want to get in another fight ever again. I am so sick of fighting and being angry and stuff like that. I try to approach everybody with like respect and love, and just like, hey, let's be friends and let's have a good time. Hey, let's make some jokes, like that. But man, when somebody chooses the other option just because they're like, oh, watch this. And I knew in his head, because of what he said to us, you knew he had been watching for a little bit.
I said that before.
And he
came
walked
out.
up and was like, hey, you can't, it's private property. I know. Because you know why I know? Because I've had this conversation with 6 other yous before, and they've all been replaced, and I'm still here. And the fact that I know who your boss is, and he's in my phone, and in 20 minutes, the 3 of us could be sitting down talking about your future.
Do you know who his father is?
No. That has nothing to do with that. I am not one of those people where I'm like, do you know who my dad is?
Do you know that his dad is a senator out of Delaware? No, but that was my whole point, is that, like, despite how you look, like, I'm sure that guy expected you to be a dickhead back to him if you were going to respond. But instead, you were just logical. I think that threw him off, because he's like, oh, now I have to, like,
But now it
engage on a
made him-
logical level.
But then somehow that made him even more of a dick.
Oh yeah, because he wanted a reason to. He wanted
a reason to yell, and when I didn't respond,
and he kept walking away, yelling back at you. Like it bothered him enough to say something, but not enough to stop and have a conversation with you.
right.
And also the thing we were doing. If we can't tongue kiss in public, then I don't want to be in this country. Two straight guys that just want to kiss for a second.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and clap again because I don't know.
You're gonna contemplate whether or not to add it in.
Yeah, I'm gonna contemplate because it's one thing to just get it off your chest, but it's another thing to like.
You should definitely edit pieces out, like take pieces of it and use it anyway, just small pieces.
Yeah,
Just like small cuts of you being like, "Rah!" Actually, the thing
man.
about you and Kelly and you being the Hulk is great. Just clip that with that clip of her being like, "Big fella."
Yeah, hey, big fella. Shh, 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 shh. It's okay. It's okay. She's
Gotta
gotta like.
her name. Does the internet?
She's
know
got to
her
rub my nose, like she's like, shh, 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 shh. Scratching my ears,
Come here, big guy. Come on.
scratching my belly or whatever, and I'm like,
name? You do look like a guy who likes a nice belly rub from somebody, though.
I'm not a big belly rub guy, although I have chest hair, so I don't mind that. Like a couple finger swirls through the chest hair, a nice good back scratch.
I try to get my girl up in my armpits sometimes. I try to like lay back, try to get her on both of them, just like
Oh man,
get up in there.
do you ever appreciate the smell of your armpits?
Like it's like
especially when they're
gasoline
bad,
where you feel
where you're
guilty.
like, oh man, like
You're
like,
bad. It's bad, but you're like, but I'm kind of impressed with
I'm
it.
impressed with it because it's bad, but it's also kind of good.
People are gonna say that's gross, but I think it's just an appreciation.
I guarantee you that women will say it's gross, but I think a lot of men will agree that they've caught a whiff of their armpit before and been like,
All right.
I don't hate it.
So I had to tell you, I did a show the other night, and I went from my job, where I worked for 12 hours,
Ooh.
straight to the show. But
Sexy.
it's been really hot, so I was pretty sweaty when I left work. But I switched out clothes. I thought I threw deodorant on. Turns out I didn't. But I had like put spray on, a new shirt, all this, and I went to go hug another comedian that said hi to me and brought like their hands, and they're smaller than me, so I went hands high. And I could smell it as I went for the hug, and I was like, "Uh-oh."
You chicken wing real quick?
Nope.
Oh.
I leaned into it, and I was like, "Well, I guess I have to decide if they're going to say something or not."
You tuck their head and then
Right.
you're like, hey,
Get in there. Come here, you.
get a good whiff.
Breathe
Just
it
rub
in.
Yeah.
That's accomplishment.
Later, when you're washing your face and you get a little tingle, it's me.
That's me.
That's
Don't
me.
forget.
That's my pit sweat. I wanted you to take that home with you. That's a souvenir.
Little
That's
gift.
merch.
That's
all right?
merch. That's your
That's
merch.
merch, baby. Pit sweat.
How far are we away from like a hot comedian having like their merch be something where like you can lean on my bare chest for a minute for $50?
Well, Matt Rife's been doing it, and it's a pretty reasonable price. I enjoyed it. It's, you know what? He's warmer than you'd think he'd be.
You know what? He does look cold, but you're right.
No, he's very
probably warm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
rabbit temperatures.
yeah, they run hot.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
run just a little bit
because
hotter.
that heart's just all the time, you know?
A constant fear of losing his status.
Yeah, me.
Not like us. Our heartbeats are slow, and we're not worried because we know we're not going anywhere.
I'm like a Galapagos tortoise, you know? My career is going nowhere, but I have 110 years to do it. So.
It also takes me that long to come, just like that tortoise. Sorry, I had to figure out how long to do a cum joke.
We made it 15 minutes. I mean, I'm impressed, guys. That's a win. All right.
People, dude, I do need to fix that because people think I'm a dirty comic because I like to be silly about dirty topics, but not dirty about it. Do you know what I'm saying? I use the words, but I
would
find
say
them,
that's dirty.
but I find them to be funny words. Like,
Well, yeah. Fuck is a funny word, but I try not to say it.
I know, but my material is lighthearted. I use dirty words in lighthearted ways.
You're whimsical.
I'm whimsical with foul language. Mm-hmm. That's tough though because people just assume I'm like a dirty comic.
I get it. You're a bit of a rapscallion. That's fine.
That's exactly how you should describe me to people.
I do. Have you met Michael? And they're like, I think so. And they're like, rapscallion?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. That's him.
Yeah. Nothing's off the table, but I've made a lot of bad choices.
So, all right. Maybe this is just a deep dive into my psyche now. But one of the reasons why these backdrops still have wrinkles in them and creases is because there's soundproofing behind them, so it's gonna always be a little
This
wrinkly.
isn't real?
Haha. But the creases in it, so many people have been like, dude, just steam them.
Yeah.
Just steam them and it'll get rid of the wrinkles. I'm just like, no. I'm gonna keep them in there because you said so.
Yeah.
Like,
you're
there's
at that
something
level
about
of
me.
my own boss.
It's just that, like, what is it going to make it more real for you? Is it going to be like, are they really in the woods? Like, it's a blanket, man. Like,
Yeah.
all the people that are like, you should steam those. And it's like, would then it be more realistic for you? Would you enjoy the podcast, a listening podcast? Would you enjoy
Yeah.
it more?
Somebody's like, when I turn this on in the background, I like to know that the set is crispy.
I like to know that they're actually in the woods.
Yeah.
So it's like every now and then I'm just going to like slap a mosquito or whatever and just be like, man, it is hot today.
You come over and you spritz me with a squirt bottle and make me look like I'm a little sweaty, like just a light mist.
Take your shirt off, Michael.
No,
you needed
I don't have sit down with your shirt off body.
If we had a spritzer, you should have used that on me outside.
Oh yeah.
When
Oh,
that guy said something.
cool you off on the back of your neck.
No. Just to get me to.
You know what though? I know that you're talking about, like, you make it sound like you were like gassed up and ready to, like, remember that scene Henry Cavill like pumps his arms, like it makes
Oh,
it
yeah.
sound like you were like that. And maybe internally you were, but on the outside, dude, cool as a cucumber. Like, I got a little tense for a second because I was like, oh man, he's gonna say this shit to Eric and this is gonna pop, not like in a violent way, but like now it's gonna be a confrontation. And so, like, I'm, like, ready to be like, all right, you know. Even I was, like, kind of, like, I was, like, a little bit in, what do they call it, beta mode or something? Because, like, afterwards you were like, I hope he comes back. I was like, dude, let's not let this.
Come on.
Let's be silly again.
We're going to have a fun day today.
Let's be silly.
We're going to have a fun day.
But it makes it sound like you were gassed up in some way, but, like, you were extremely calm and in control. You weren't, like.
I was, because it was one of those things where I always plan for the worst, hope for the best.
Right.
So in my head,
U.S. Marines.
well, I mean, in my head, I was like, just be calm.
Yeah.
Just use logic. Be reasonable. But if he escalates it, or if he tries to get physical, I'm gonna beat him to death with a CO2 tank. You know, and that's just it's there. It's on the back burner. We're not thinking of it. We're not dwelling on it. We're just, should it come to physicality, you've really picked the wrong horse, man. I don't know.
I know,
what to
he would have
tell
been way better off looking at me. I'm thick body karate, but I'm not ready to tussle today. And I know, that's the other part of it. I knew if it came down to that and it was you versus that guy, it was literally going to be that guy's best hope that I would pick his side. Because I'm not stopping you.
His best hope is you, like, calming me down.
Uh-huh.
And being like, hey, man, no. Well, you know what? We don't need to.
Yeah.
We don't need to. And I would have been like,
I literally,
You're right.
do you know what
You're
my
right.
best method
You're right.
was? You know what my best method down there, knowing you as well as I do? I was like, hey, man, we got a show tonight. Let's not worry about this dude.
Hey, come on, we got a show.
We got a show. You want to go to jail and then have to go do a show after?
Might have some new material.
But new 5.
Yeah, dude, I got a tight new 5 from holding.
I got an assault charge today.
You guys know that feeling where you're just like hitting someone with an inanimate object and you're just like, oh, this isn't how I thought Saturday was going to go.
What's that? And all those TikTok videos when they're like, yep, that's me. It's just like a video of you like beating this guy with a CO2 tank, and then it freezes and it goes, yep,
Hit
that's
the
me.
record scratch. I bet you're wondering how I got in this situation. Funny thing. I can't stand. This is
I know.
private property. I am aware. Yeah,
Oh, I I hear you.
I'm well aware.
I hear you. It is bizarre when people like don't like, if I don't know you, but you look really comfortable in a space that I'm a part of, I'm gonna at least ask you like, hey man, are you like, do you live here, work here? Why are you here? You know, I wouldn't just be like, What's up, dude? Like, I don't have that in me to be like, despite what I think my authority is, if you look really comfortable, I'll probably talk to you first. I've gone up like at clubs when I
That's
worked
all
at.
I'm saying. If he would have just come up and been like, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second?" Or, "Hey, I don't, I like, hey, I don't want to interrupt," or like, "Hey, I don't want to be rude, but this is, private property, whatever." I'd be like, "Oh yeah, no, I know. I'm Eric. I, work here. Blah 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 blah." We would have been just fine. And then if he would have been like, "Hey, if you don't mind, could you just." I'd have been like, "Oh, yeah, no, absolutely,
I hear ya,
absolutely,
yeah.
yeah. Hey, it's good to meet you, man. I'll see you around. I'll
I'm
be here all the time.
All the time.
I'm here 6 days a week. I'll see you all the time." And then there we go. Now we've made a friend.
Yeah.
Now we have another acquaintance. But instead, you decided to be a dick. And now neither one of us gets to be friends.
Do you think that is like do you think that's just like a lack of empathy? Because even when I worked for, like when I would produce for Comedy Bar, there'd be times like into the night and there'd be like comics, we'd have to kick them out, like, "Hey, we're shutting the whole place down."
Yeah.
I want to sit and play. And I'd come outside and be like, "Hey guys, I hate to be a buzzkill. We're shutting it down. You guys have to leave." And like, I would just approach and say, "Hey, look, I understand I'm invading your space.
Yeah.
Let's chat for a second, let you know what's happening and why I'm doing this." I've never understood people coming like, "All right, assholes, kick rocks." Like with those security last night when we were watching security last night.
But did you watch? There was one guy who the entire time was like, "Let's go.
Yeah.
Get off the property. Let's go. Rah, 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 rah." And then once the bars actually shut down, all the senior guys came out and they were just walking slow and like, "All right, guys, come on, we gotta
get
take
out of here.
off, we gotta go," like that. And that new guy was still, "Let's go,
Yeah,
screaming at people who were not paying attention to him whatsoever, and just standing there. And they're like, "I know that you can't touch me, but you're screaming at me, so it makes me not want to do what you're saying, just because you're screaming, And then the other guys are like, "Hey, excuse me, we just shut down. Could you guys?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, up there on the corner. Yeah, yeah."
I wonder if that's like a Midwestern thing because we, if you think about like most of the time, Midwesterners don't want to be a problem. You know what I mean? Like, "Oh, shoot, I didn't mean to bother you. I didn't, Like, you ever been at a restaurant and it's near the end of the night and you stayed over the closing, but everybody's being friendly to you, like, "Hey, by the way, I'm so sorry that we stayed late," even though,
yes,
let's be honest, they were going to be there anyway. You didn't actually cause them any extra work, but that everybody understands, like, "Hey, you did me a politeness. I want to say thank you, and the only way I know is to say sorry." That's like a Midwestern thing to be like, "Hey, sorry about that. Let me get out of here," whatever.
Or, "Hey, thank you so much. Hey, I really appreciate you.
Hey, I appreciate you." I say appreciate you all the time.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
No.
I think that's expected. And I've worked, I worked security at a comedy club. I would stay there after the show was over, and then it was a bar, and you wait until 1:32, and then you're like, "All right, guys,
Gotta get out.
Sorry, guys, we're shutting her down for the night, so let's close our tabs and head for the exit," And 9 times out of 10, people were like, "Oh, yeah, okay, cool, awesome. What do you guys want to do? You want to go to McDonald's?" Or, then they would make plans and they would leave. But then every now and then you would get someone who, I don't know, man. There was one time where I was working the door, and this girl, I'm just standing there.
Yeah.
Just standing there working the door, like checking IDs as people come in. And this lady who's already been in the bar and gotten a drink was headed out to smoke. And she walked by me, and she had this mean look on her face, and she goes, "When I come back in here, I'm going to stab you." And I was like, "Well, you're definitely not coming back in now." And she was like, "Oh, what? I was joking."
It was a joke, you
And I was like,
fuck.
"Oh, man, well, you know what's not a joke? You're not coming back inside." And she was like, "I left my tab open." And I was like, "Looks like it'll be open in the morning when you can come by and close it out.
I like that she's like, when you leave work, I'm going to stab you.
Not even when you leave work. It was when I come back in.
No, I'm saying
when I finish this cigarette,
when you told her that she's not coming back in and like you're like shutting the door and she's like, when you leave work, I'm going to stab you.
Well, so she's there. She's somebody's date.
Of course.
The date was inside. And so she calls him and says, hey, the door guy won't let me come back in. So then her boyfriend comes to me, super nice, super respectful. And he's like, hey, she's saying you won't let her back in? I go, yeah. She told me she was going to stab me when she came inside. So
you're lucky I'm not calling the cops.
Yeah. So it's either she leaves or we call the cops because she threatened me with violence.
A weapon. Yeah.
With a weapon. Yeah. And you're not allowed to have a knife in here anyway. So, yeah. Now that I know she has a weapon and she wants to use it, she's definitely not coming back inside.
She's starting this out on a shaky ground.
Yeah, and he was like, come on, man. Like, she's drunk.
She's bipolar.
Yeah, like, and I was like, I don't know, man. I don't feel safe with her coming in. I'm going to say no. And then I left to go do something, and I put another door guy on the door. And when I came back, she was inside, and she came up to me, and she gave me the finger, and she was like, I told you I'd get back in here. And I grabbed her hand and put it behind her back, and I was like, and I told you, you're not allowed back in here. So we're going to go outside and wait for the cops. And so I let her back outside, and we called the cops. And she was like, I just want to leave now. I just want to leave. And I was like, no. Your options to leave ended when you came back inside. I told you. You were not allowed back in here. And then the owner came out and was like, what's going on? I'm like, she threatened to stab me, and I told her she's not allowed back inside. Then she came back inside anyway. And he goes, all right, police will be here in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then they showed up. They put her in handcuffs. And they were like, do you want to press charges? And I was like, no, I want you to get her off the property. And they were like, all right. And they literally like drove her to like the end of the strip mall. And was like, you're not allowed to go back there anymore. If you go back there, we're going to take you to jail.
This is one of my favorite YouTube like things to get into is watching people who will like actively fight the police. And then they'll be like, the police are like, all right, well, we're going to have to take you to jail now. And they start handcuffing. I'm like, no, I'll do the thing you want. They're like, no, we tried that already. It's my favorite to just watch people try to backpedal when they realize they overstepped what they can do. Like where you get a whole leash and then you watch them overstep it and they're like, no. I was gonna not drive anymore hammered. You're right. I'm not gonna do that anymore.
No.
I watched a video where a teacher, I know. The first one was a teacher who gets arrested at her job because she's drinking at school, like on her way to school, and is hammered at school. It's like 8 a.m. and they pull her in and she's like, look, can I just drive home and I'll just be sick today and then I'll start not drinking anymore tomorrow? And they're like, no. And she goes, look, I'll just drive. They go, do you have anybody who can pick you up? You're not going to have a job anymore, but you don't have to go to jail if somebody picks you up. She goes, no, I'll just drive home. And she just gets up and grabs her keys. He's like, well, now I have to arrest you for driving drunk. You understand that, right? And she's, no, I'm not going to drive. Can I call my husband, please? Like, it's way too late.
Yeah.
You blew a .25 at 8 a.m. at a school.
I love the DUI. I don't know if you've ever seen it. There's a DUI video where this guy gets pulled over and they give him a breathalyzer and he's way over the limit. And they're like, well, you're way over the limit, so I have to arrest you. Like, you have a DUI, I have to arrest you. And he's like, I'm almost home.
Yeah.
That's his argument. It's like, and he's like, and then he's like, I've been driving for 30 minutes. I can almost see my house. And it's like, he thought because he made it 90% of the way.
But what like a weirdly logical point to make, though. Look, I'm basically here.
I mean, come on.
What are the odds?
Almost got away with it.
Yeah, what are the odds that I'm going to get in a wreck with a mile to go?
Actually, they do say that
it's like a way high, right?
It's way high.
Yeah.
Because there's something about drunk people that they're like, I made it. Bam. Yeah,
it's worse to be the neighbor of a drunk driver.
Apparently, the number of DUIs and car crashes that happen within like a fourth of a mile of your house are triple the amount that happen anywhere else. Because it's like when people Like you just like you're driving, you're trying to hold it together, and then I guess they get close and they're just like, I made it.
Yeah, just
Bam, tree. Like I
I'm,
just can't. I can't stand rude people, man. I can't
know.
stand it. It drives me nuts. Oh man,
This episode brought to you by Better Health.
help.
Better Help.
I think I need some better help. You know, the thing that drives me absolutely batshit insane is when people park, like double park or whatever, and it like blocks you in. Have you ever been blocked in by someone with a terrible parking job?
Yeah.
And you're like, if I move my car, I'm gonna scratch their car, then I'm gonna be in trouble.
Yeah.
And it's so infuriating to stand there and just have to wait for them to come out, and you're just like, I am so fired up by the time they get out there, and I'm just like, none of the rules matter, huh? We all just do what we want now? It's like I can't stand it because sometimes it's like you feel like if you're a good person, you're the only one following the rules, and everybody else just gets to do what they want, and you're just like, oh, what's the point?
Why am I following these rules?
Why am I following the rules? Nobody else gives a shit.
I also like, by the way, that is such a the I guess rules don't matter, huh? Just saying stuff out loud
Yeah.
as people go by. It's such the way of being like, you don't understand how every part of my being is holding back the response I want to have. I know you're gonna say I'm a bitch for saying this, like as somebody's walking by. If you do like that passive stuff where you're like, "Oh, I guess we don't have to follow the rules, huh?"
Oh, no.
You're baiting them to engage with you, but like also the other side of it is you can't go up and just be like, "Hey, asshole, fuckface, this is a social setting, and you're breaking all the rules because you feel like you're so important."
It is baiting, but I don't say it as they pass by. I will stand in front of them, make eye contact, and be like, I guess the rules don't fucking matter.
I
huh?"
know.
I
know you will.
Yes, because I'm just like, we that happened one time. We went to go see, I don't know, one of the Spider-Man movies. It was me and my kids, and we came out in the parking lot, and someone was parked like diagonally behind us,
Sick.
and we could not move. We were boxed in. So I went in and I told the movie theater about it because parking lots are usually private property, and they were like, well, we can't do anything about it. You're going to have to call the cops. I was like, ugh, fine. So I call the cops. The cops show up, and they're like, no, it's private property. It's the movie theater has to do something.
This is awesome.
And so I was like, okay, well, now I need you to go talk to the movie theater manager and make him do his job. So now I'm mad at the movie theater manager and the guy who parked like an asshole. And luckily, we're out there standing there, and the guy
Comes out.
comes out, and he's like, what's everybody doing? And we're looking at his car, and I was like, is this your fucking car? Is this your fucking car?
It's a good thing the police are here.
And he was like, yeah. And I just I just made eye contact with the cop, and I'm like, I've screwed myself by calling you. Like, I could have, if I would have slashed this guy's tires and not said anything, I would have gotten away.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh my gosh, I wonder what happened to your tires. That's so sad. I don't know.
Guess they're gonna watch it get towed.
Oh, wow. I guess we all have to watch it get towed away. That's
Yeah.
so sad.
I hope they can get it up without scratch on the bottom.
Oh, man. I hope you can afford new tires. That's a big truck. Those look expensive, you know? Huh. Maybe you shouldn't buy such a big truck if you don't know how to park it in between the lines, you know?
I like.
You know what's crazy is that those lines are designed for all vehicles.
Uh-huh.
And if your truck is too big to fit there, I don't know, maybe go to the end of the parking lot where no one else is parked. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe just have a little common sense. I don't know.
You know, I'm reframing it in my head now, but I had a funny thing where like that happened to me, and it's justified, but it's also like a combination of that person being somewhat of a bitch. But my job, I had to go do something, and I had to take a cart with me, like a big, like a bed cart thing to put stuff in.
Yeah.
And a trolley cart. And anyway, I'm in the elevator, and this cart takes up a lot of space. And this nurse gets in. I go, hey, I'm sorry. I go, moving these things around, it's hard not to fill up space and make it, tight for everybody. And she goes, that's why we have a freight elevator. And I was like, I mean, she's right. But I was trying to be friendly about it. And it's one of those moments where, like, you do the Midwestern thing, the like, hey, yeah, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? Life is crazy. And she was like, there's a fucking solution, asshole, and you chose not to use it. And I was like, she's right. I mean, she could have been cooler about it, but
I see both sides of it.
Yep.
I definitely see both sides of it.
I'm in my head being you though, and also thinking like how you would respond in that moment.
I go out of my way to try to do the right thing. Like,
Sure.
I pick up trash when I see it and, like, throw it away. And, like, I hold the door open for people. And
But you see
I
a guy
I try to be a good person. And I try to help. And I try to, like, do the right thing, and then someone does something that pulls the darkness out of me, and it makes me so angry that they were able to get me like that. Because I'm like, the last time, so I just said a minute ago that, like, I never want to get in another fight again. I never want to whatever. The last time I said that to someone was outside of this bar called Platypus in downtown in the Grove
Yeah.
in St. Louis. I leave there after telling people I never want to get in another fight again, blah, 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 blah. We get to here, where the studio's located, and this drunk guy stumbles out in front of my car, so I stop, you know. He then notices my car, goes and kicks it. Michael, I put that car in park so fucking quick, and as soon as I got out of the car and stood up, and he saw how big I was, his face just went pure white and was just like...
Because even in a drunken state, you'll know, like, uh-oh.
Oh, fuck. That was the wrong one. Like that.
I thought you were a girl, damn it.
But I just was like, oh, you want to kick my car, huh? You want to kick my car? I just kept repeating that over and over again. I was like, you want to kick my car? You want to kick my car?
I don't know
And he
why
started
that's
to,
more
like,
intimidating, by
he
the way.
just-
It's just repeating the same phrase over and over as
because
you
I'm
walk
waiting
toward
for
me.
you to make it make sense. And I know that you can't. And he started to walk away, and he was like, shut up, pussy, shut up, faggot, shut up, whatever, you know, like that. And I was like, oh, you want to keep talking shit? You want to keep talking shit? And, like, then he turned around at one point, and he's like, what are you going to do? And I just started walking towards him.
Yep.
And my buddy goes, remember when you said you never want to get in a fight again? And I just, like, looked at my buddy, and I looked back at him, and I was like, make your peace with God, because I am coming for you. Like,
But
I was so angry.
You're also built to do, like, the Michael Myers walk.
Yeah.
Where I won't run after you, but I will not stop walking, and I will catch you.
Mm-hmm. I don't need sleep. I don't need food.
Yeah.
You are my sole mission in life right now. I am I don't want to be that person, man.
You're not that person.
I'm not. 99.9% of the time. The other 1% is just like, I mean, this might take me like 3 days to be like, okay, all right, fine. It was an asshole. Okay. But it's just it's gonna heat me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm surprised I'm not sweating. There are times, have you ever been so angry you were sweating before, where you're just like, your heart feels like a thunderclap, you know, and you're just like, like just.
But you know, you're not that person. You really aren't. I know what you're saying, but also, what person, like, look, I don't want to be a scumbag, and 99.9% of the time I'm not. But once in a while, I do a scumbag thing. You know, like,
Yeah.
aiming for. I mean, I read this quote. It was like, now that you know you don't have to be perfect, you can be good. Aren't you good most of the time, right? Like, you're good most of the time. You don't have to be perfect. And you acknowledge it. How many people would walk away from that and not even acknowledge that they had that side of them that was amped up and gassed up? Because here's the real truth. Had I not been there, you could have spun this however you wanted. You know what I'm saying? And you did it. You told exactly what happened, and then you also acknowledge it, like there's that part of you that gets so gassed up. But you know it, and you control it. So really, okay, you're not a monk.
No. But yeah, okay. I mean, I do feel bad that part of me exists, and I'm sure that I'll get a billion comments and be like, "This guy's a sociopath," and
Sure.
it's like, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know the definition of one, but I know that when someone does something egregious against me, it takes me a long time to be like,
But you got
I understand, man, mistakes are made, but all at the same time, like, I don't know.
It's because they're not measuring with the same stick, though. Like they don't see how many doors you opened and shit. What they're doing is they're making a judgment on that 0.1 second interaction, and that's the part of you that keeps you from being a total dickhead.
Mm-hmm.
But it sucks because in that 0.1 interaction, you may not have been 100% vigilant in some way that mattered to them. And it's like, you can't walk around like that all day. What a fucking nightmare that would be, to have to walk around all day and be like, I hope everybody who sees me with complete context of my entire day and the person I've been today. Like, whenever you see somebody cut you off in traffic and you're like, wow, they must have somewhere important to be. Guess we'll see each other through a stoplight. And it's like, I don't know the context of why they made that move. I think it's a stupid move. I think they made choices that put them in that place.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna be mad totally about it because I was aware enough to not be a problem with it. Like I prepared myself to not be worked up by their choice.
Yeah. I know that there's no world. The problem is with being big is that I was designed 300 years ago to be the village idiot / champion.
Yeah, you're the last of the Nephilim.
I would go to fight the other village idiot champion until I die.
Yep.
And then I die. And that's my sole purpose. My job, I was not created. My genetics are not for taxes. They are not for accounting. Yeah. They are for beating up the other village idiot.
Yeah, you weren't sitting at the table.
300 years ago, I would have been great at it. I would have been great at it. I would have been the Mongoloid that only says like 6 words. Like that. They'd be like, send out Hugo.
Yeah. You die at 24, but
yeah,
it would have been a good death.
I would have lived until my back went out, and then they would have hit me in the head with a hammer and thrown me in a hole. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But now I live in the modern age with the civilized man, and I'm in my 30s. I'm well past
use.
Yes, I've outlived my usefulness. And I think that's really what I'm mad at, is that I know that I should be in the hole, and I'm not. And
not only are you not allowed to die, they're like actively making it harder by creating ways for you to live longer.
Yeah. And so actually, this is my attack against big medicine. I think we all need to go back to the average life expectancy of 30 and just, you know what? We've had a good run. I think that would help with probably all the issues, global warming and poverty levels, like generational wealth that lasts 60 years. You know what I mean? Like,
that's the difference is if we went back to that system, you and I really wouldn't engage much because you would be down there beating people until we have to kill you, and I'd be one of the courtiers deciding your fate.
It is super frustrating though to get like attitude or mouth or any whatever you want to call it, get a shitty attitude from someone that you could pick up physically. To look at someone and be like, it might not even take 2 hands for me to lift you.
Yeah,
I could pick you up. And it's like 300 years ago, if I was the village idiot and you walked by and said something stupid to me, I would just have broken your neck and then taken your little coin purse. And they'd be like, oh, what happened to Charlie? You'd be like, he ran into Mongol and told Mongol he didn't like his boots. Yeah. He was like, ooh, Mongol, you smell. And then Mongol just killed him and took his land and his coins and a chicken leg. It was really weird.
Goddamn modern society made you have logic and reason. You have to be gentle with the smaller creatures.
Well, that's just it. Like, everybody watched Game of Thrones and they liked that one dude. What was it? The dog or whatever? The Hound?
Oh, the Hound, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, he's so cool. He's a badass. He doesn't care. No, he's just bigger than everybody.
Yeah.
That's me. I have that mentality.
Can I be your Arya Stark?
yeah. Okay. But like that's my mentality of like, bring me 6 chickens, and they're like, we're not gonna serve you. It's like, bring me 6 chickens and then I'll kill you. And they're like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? Like, I just can't. Levels of disrespect, man. It's pretty wild.
You feel better?
So what's the best Gatorade flavor?
I like the. I know you have these on display, but do you know what I like is the Hydrate, the Gatorade Hydrate. They're their electrolyte ones, the strawberry one.
I've never had that one.
But otherwise, I'm a yellow guy.
Oh yeah, I have. It's like they're competing against Pedialyte.
Yeah.
They're trying to make it, which you will never take out the king, sir.
It's fair. I agree with you.
Pedialyte.
But I'm a yellow guy.
I have Pedialyte till I die. But yeah, no, blue.
Which blue, though?
Light blue.
Glacier?
Yeah, Glacier Freeze.
Yeah.
Right here. Also acceptable, cool blue.
Now, what did your
This one
school
right here.
use, though? What was your school flavor? We had orange, which was gross.
I don't remember our school having Gatorade.
Oh, really? Ours did for football.
You're talking about for football practice and stuff like that? Whatever powder they had.
Yeah, we had
that
the
day.
orange powder.
They had orange powder. Occasionally you'd get the yellow lemon one. It was never blue. No.
Don't hear this as an insult, but you look like you probably had a few red mustaches as a child.
No, I'm not. I hate fruit punch.
I do too. I hate fruit punch.
I hate it. I hate Hawaiian punch.
Dude.
I hate fruit punch. I've said this a million times. So if you've listened, you've heard me say it before. But it never gets cold enough.
Oh.
Fruit punch never gets cold enough. It could be in a fridge all day, poured in a cup with ice. You take a sip, and it's still like it hits the back of your throat like a.
That's interesting. I never thought of that as but you're right. It's never cold enough.
It's never cold enough. On a hot spring day, that was the only thing. A hot summer day, as a kid, you come in from playing outside. If somebody's mom poured you like Hawaiian punch, sometimes I'd look at them and be like, "Oh, you want us to like die, huh?" Like,
This is my camera?
Yeah.
Gatorade, pay attention to this. You are a powerful, powerful entity in the sports drink industry. And Eric's right. This is a classic flavor that you can't land because there's something in your chemical mix. Make it colder. Now, fruit punch, what they need is a fruit punch glacier with a special blend that makes it colder.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Are you listening, Gatorade? Sponsor this podcast and fix it. And bring this guy in and train him. See what's going on in there.
Imagine me just walking into Gatorade Corporation, like walking up to the front desk, just like hanging up the phone. Just like, excuse me, everybody in the conference room real quick. I just have something to.
That would be.
I just have something to tell you guys. I promise, real quick. Marketing, reach R&D. Let's go. Come on, guys. Come on. Just real quick. Everybody. No. You can finish that email later. Come on. I need everybody in here. And they're just like, excuse me, who are you? And I'd be like, I'm a comedian, but this is for you guys. All right?
Yeah.
And then I just stand there and I'm like, guys, fruit punch. Cold.
You just leave?
I'm just like, here's my name. You can write me a check when you figure it out.
I love the idea of you being in a Gatorade sponsorship where it's like, you see like Steph Curry and it's like hard work. And then you see like Serena Williams, it's like dedication. And then it's like, and then it's like a half shot of you in front of a microphone and it's like, whatever, perseverance. And it's like you are now part of the Gatorade sponsorship, but it's like all these top tier athletes.
No.
And then it's you in a Magellan shirt.
No, it would be Steph Curry, and he would be like dedication, and then Simone Biles, and it would be like commitment, and then Serena Williams, and it would be like perseverance, and then me, and I'd be like cold.
That's the commercial you need to cut.
Yeah.
And pitch it to Gatorade.
Cold.
And then just Gatorade.
Yeah. That would be okay. I'm down with that.
I like that. I'm a yellow guy, though.
Talk to me, Gatorade. Let's work.
I love this.
I'll take 3% of sales, okay?
3%.
I'll take
1% and you're fine.
3% of
fruit punch sales.
Yeah, cold fruit punch sales.
Cold fruit punch
because
sales.
I help them with that.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly it's my idea.
You don't get Gatorade cut. You get fruit punch cold cut. You get 3% of fruit punch cold.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I'm good. I was doing, I'm terrible at math, but I was just assuming like, okay.
We'll call your guy.
We'll call my guy, yeah. My numbers guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that one. I don't want to do that one. Were you a video game kid?
Not the way most people were.
No. Best time to kill away or best way to kill time in a new city.
Ooh. So I'm a big headphones in, get lost guy. Like I love to hoof it. I love to just walk around town with headphones in, depending on the city though. Like if you go to Nashville, Nashville's not a walking city, so you can't really. But what I like to do is I like to find parks and free museums.
Museums are great. Botanical gardens.
Yeah.
Those are if a city has a botanical garden, chances are it's free or tickets are like $4, and it's a great way to kill time and just walk around and look at plants. Zoos make me sad.
Yeah.
You always go to the zoo and you're like, oh man, I can't wait to go to the zoo, and then you get there and you're like, everybody looks sad.
It's my torn thing of like I want to see a bear.
Yeah.
But it's a bummer that I'll never go to a bear's house, and I don't want a bear to come to mine, and so it's like our neutral ground, but they're in prison. It's very weird.
Yeah.
As much as I hate a zoo, I hate an aquarium worse. Like so, and we'll get into this in a second, but we went to Atlanta's aquarium last year.
Yeah.
Atlanta's got an incredible aquarium. I'm not downplaying it. It looks like they take really great care of everything there. Everything they have this huge.
It's all that Coke money, man.
They have the biggest. It's like
It's funny how Miami and Atlanta both run on Coke, but
Yeah.
two very different kinds.
And they've got this. They've got the. I think it's like the country's biggest viewing wall, or something. It's like this wild, like 30-foot high, wide, and they've got tiger sharks and all this in there, or tiger whales or whatever they're called. But you watch them and you're like, that's cool. But then you think about that shark is just doing the same.
Yeah. Have you seen Blackfish?
Yeah.
Dude, we watched Blackfish and then went to SeaWorld. We swam with the dolphins after watching. We swam with the dolphins because of Blackfish.
Yeah. You
We
just
were
prefer Dominion.
Yeah. As soon as I got on that dolphin, I just stuffed something in his blowhole, and I was like,
Treat it like a wet horse.
choke on this, you sea dog.
So, best way to kill time in a new city is to shame their local zoo and then check out a botanical garden.
Yeah, we did go to. So when I was in Austin, we were trying to kill time one day, and we found a free art museum.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool, but it was very small. But they had this one big painting on the second floor, and it was, I mean, the size of this wall or whatever, and it was all just abstract shapes and colors and stuff like that. And I really liked it, so I was just sitting there looking at it and like, oh man, I just really like all these. It's just cool. It's the first time I've ever looked at abstract art and been like, I like this.
Yeah.
I don't know why I like it, but I just do. And one of my friends, Ben Johnson, comes up to me and was like, oh, what's this painting about? And I'm like, I don't know what it's about, but I just like it. And he was like, well, you got to read the plaque to find out what the artist was trying to say. And I was like, nah, I just like it as is. And he goes, no, that's important. Like, you got to understand what the painter is trying to convey. And so I went up and I read it, and it was like, this is to represent the rape of the indigenous people of America by the white blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, now I'm sad. Now I do not like this painting anymore because it made me sad. Thank you.
You had a white colonial response to it.
And I was just like, oh, great. So
now
every time I talk to Ben, I'm like, hey, you remember that time we went to an art museum and you took all my good feelings and turned them into bad ones? Just like to make.
You go to another one and you're like, well, at least this painting's really cool, and it's like pedophilic desires. And you're like, what's wrong?
Ah!
What is art?
Oh my gosh! I need to listen to my favorite song. Does anybody have Macy's Playground, Sex and Candy? That's not. There's no subliminal message there.
I forget the name of the song, but there's one where it literally opens up. She's just 17.
What about fucking Ted Nugent's song? Christine. It's something like Christine, sweet and 16.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast recently, and somebody was talking about it. And Dan Soder goes, 16? I'm going to need a few more candles on that cake, bud. Like that, and I started cracking up. Is that gay to talk about another comedian's joke? On
No,
your,
I think you're just referencing. It made sense. It's in context.
Okay, yeah.
Don't overthink it.
Whatever. He's never gonna fucking see this. Anyway.
What if he does? What if he's at home and he talks about
He
like,
just sends me a cease and desist. He's
Yeah.
like, quit quoting me, you fucking has been.
we can be similar heights, but we'll never be similar talent. It'd be great if you became a voice guy too.
Yeah, but. You know,
What are you, I was about to say, are you gonna put your cup?
I thought about it. I thought about just.
That's the part of being a kid that'll never get out of you. All right, so we figured out best time to kill in a new city.
Best way to kill time in a new city.
Way to kill Tony in a new city.
Yeah. Best end of the world scenario: lizard people, super volcano, asteroid, alien invasion, or robot takeover. Not what's more likely, but
Right.
Which one would you want to live through if you could pick?
Oh, I have to live through it? I thought it's just like you're going to experience it happen.
Well,
Because I feel like
Yes.
asteroid, I don't have what it takes to survive. Alien apocalypse, I don't have what he. So I'm going to say.
well, here's the thing: with an asteroid hitting the Earth, we're all gone.
Right.
We're all gone. Now, if it just doesn't hit in your hemisphere, and you survive like the typhoons
That's what
and
I'm saying.
the tsunamis that come in and stuff like that, the tidal waves, like whatever, you'll probably end up like starving to death. But if I was gonna pick one, I would want the meteor to land like on me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I want it to just be like, well,
Here's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with robots because no matter any of these scenarios, I die. But the robots feel like it'll be clean. Clean and quick.
would it?
Because an asteroid, unless it lands directly in my neighborhood, I don't have what it takes to be post-asteroid survivalist.
Unless the robots got into some type of like using us for batteries or using us for somehow like to fuel themselves,
sure.
that would suck. But if they were just like, hey, we got to get rid of all the humans, they would be very like
Quick,
methodical
yeah.
about it, and it would not be as scary as you think
No.
because they would literally just like,
Yeah.
just
Puncture you in the right spot.
yeah.
End it immediately.
I mean, it'd be like turning the lights off.
Yeah.
Just gone. It's not like lizard people would rip you to pieces.
Maybe.
And, eat you and stuff like that. But I feel like lizard people would be the easiest to survive because during winter, they're all they'd have to go back underground or back to Washington D.C. No,
What if that's funny? Is it becomes like a timeshare situation where during the winter months humans live above the surface, and then during the summer we live below, and during the winter the lizard people live below, and then they come out in the summer.
Well, I have a timeshare with Cthulhu, our Lord, down in Boca. So
I just hate. You know what I hate most is that they're not really great about getting rid of the skin they shed. I'll be honest.
oh my gosh, every time we move back in, there's just flies and dead skin everywhere. And why is everything sticky? I don't understand it.
They replace all the light bulbs with heat lamps, and frankly, it's just not right.
Yeah, I just don't understand.
So I'm gonna go robots. I feel like it's gonna be a nice clean death, like Smart House.
I think that honestly the worst one would be the super volcano.
Oh God.
Super volcano explosion would be because if you look at the map here on this slide, it shows you like the deep purple area is instant death, right?
Yeah.
The outer ring is like you survive a day. The
Couple days.
The dark pink is like maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months. We're in like the 4 to 6 month range right through here. And then if you're in Miami, you're actually gonna make it.
Maybe.
I don't know. Miami, Corpus Christi, Texas, you might survive.
Yeah.
But no, we starved to death within a couple months. So I think that would be pretty horrific.
That one would be miserable. There's not like all those other ones to me outside of like.
Yeah, but we get rid of Salt Lake City though. What's up?
Hey, things would finally heat up there. Come on now.
Whoa!
Hey.
Hey!
BYU's going to be hot for the first time.
Yeah, hey Salt Lake City, you can't soak up that radiation, huh? Mormon soaking.
I'm with you.
All right, cool. Best way to tell if somebody's a bad person. If you talk shit to somebody without to introducing yourself.
If you're a dickhead carrying a CO2 tank who's running his mouth with no purpose. We've done this one. We did this one on my last one.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I'm a big anti-cart guy. Like, the cart thing drives me crazy.
Oh, yeah. If you take a shopping
but
cart.
trash out the window.
All right. Well, let me get you one of these because these are new that I just haven't made. I haven't made signs yet for best hot dog toppings.
I'm a ketchup relish guy.
Okay.
But if I'm going fancy dog, like, I do love, like, a Chicago dog. I don't mind trying some wild shit on my hot dog one time.
Yeah, I don't mind it one time. But when they put a whole pickle spear and then, like, tomato wedges on there, it's like, all right, guys, what are we doing? It's a hot dog.
Yeah.
All right?
I'm a very simple, I prefer just, because I don't like pickles, but I like relish. And so I like ketchup and relish. That's it. Sweet relish. But I like, I was in Colorado once and I had like a Rocky dog at the stadium. That was fucking great. It had all kinds of
I'm
sloppy
sure.
shit.
I hear all about Dodger dogs and all things like that.
Yeah, I'm not a
like,
chili dog guy though. I hate the
I
chili
hate
dog.
chili dogs.
Hate the chili dog.
I hate chili.
Dude, did we just double down on this episode on two
I
things?
don't like chili. I never have. I don't like soups. I don't like stews. I don't like
Me
chili.
either.
I don't like
wet food.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I'm
just
not
liquid-based food. My dad every year makes like a 5-gallon thing of chili. Every year. And look, my dad makes great chili. It's not that he doesn't make really great chili. I just don't like... I don't want to have to... The only time I want to drink part of my food is cereal.
Yeah. I concur. I concur with that 100%. Because I have once had to clean up after someone threw up chili, and let me tell you something, it looks exactly the same. And you're like, ugh,
Yeah.
I just can't do it. I can't stand it. I went to a friend's house one time, and his grandmother, like, he was like, hey, let's go to my grandma's house to eat. And we were like, oh, okay. So we went over to their house, and she had made chili.
Oof.
And I was so torn because the Midwesterner in me was like, you have to be polite. You have to eat this. So I got a bowl, and I'm not kidding. I tried as best as I could to, like, move it around to make it look like I had eaten some, and just took, like, the littlest little nibbles off of it just to be like, oh, yeah, it's great. Oh, thank you. Oh, no, I'm stuffed. I can't.
I used to do tons of saltines to, like, clump it up, like oatmeal.
That's the only thing you can do.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you can do.
Did you ever see anybody use sugar in it? Put sugar in there?
No, I've seen that with spaghetti, though. And
Yeah,
that is not really a Caucasian thing to do.
Oh,
I've
really?
learned. It is more popular among other cultures. But I've seen it cross
Sure.
racial divides before, but I am not a sugar in spaghetti type person.
Yeah.
I'm not even a spaghetti type person. My mom. So I used to make fun of my mom and tell her that she made spaghetti like 3 times a week because we did have it every week growing up. There was a spaghetti night, and I hate spaghetti. So, like, over the years, I've been like, yeah, you used to give us spaghetti 4 times a night or whatever.
4 times a night?
Yeah, just like I would say
Yeah.
things like that, and she'd be like, ugh, like that. But now what's weird is that she started taking, like, other things that happened and saying, like, oh, like, and I also gave you spaghetti 4 times a week. And it's like, no, this one actually happened.
Yeah.
Though. Like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like, I asked her one time, I was like, why did you make me go back to school the day after back surgery when the doctor told me to be on bed rest for 6 weeks? And she was like, oh, and I also gave you spaghetti. And I was like, no, these are 2 very different things, okay? These are not apples and oranges, ma'am. We are going to talk about this. She's like, whatever. She's like, because you didn't pay attention in school. And I was like, so you thought...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right.
You know when he'll pay attention? After back surgery.
Yeah, she wouldn't let me take any painkillers either.
Oh.
So I was just standing there raw dogging with an open wound on my back, and I'm just like, I couldn't sit down. I used to stand in all of my classes and just lean on a cane.
Yeah.
There's pictures of me, like my senior year in high school, and I had all of my books set up on top of a filing cabinet so I could just stand there and read them. And then I could write like that because I couldn't bend at all. And I couldn't sit into a desk because you're not allowed to. They tell you you're not allowed to twist, squat, or it's like
Twist,
bend,
squat, bend.
bend, lift, or twist. BLT.
Okay.
You're not allowed to bend, lift, or twist. Bend, like
Yeah.
like they give you all these things, and you're technically supposed to have someone like wipe your butt for you.
Sick.
And although the last time I had back surgery, they did talk about like, we've got grabbers now, and we've got these handy little tools you can use, and
Sick.
so you can be more independent and stuff, but you're still not allowed to twist it all, bend over, or pick anything up. So, like, I wasn't even allowed to wear my backpack because there were too many books in it, and it was too much stress. So I would have to walk from class to class, just dragging my backpack down the hall, like a kid that decided to run away and was like, I don't need socks, but I'll take a biology book. And so I would just grab the top handle of your backpack, and I would just drag it down the hall with my kink.
The tallest, oldest 10th grader.
just and just wait for somebody to be like, this is private property. You can't be here. I don't know. I don't know you, and I don't like you. And you can't be here. Like, no.
Gee, I wonder what you're going to end up eventually saying on stage tonight.
Same thing. Just back to my dancing for my dollar, Oh, my feelings
Hello, my
are-
darling. Hello, my sunshine.
All my feelings are happy feelings. Ha ha! And then you get off stage and you're just like, if I ever see that guy again, that's what it is.
It's a 2-hour drive.
I wish that I could be one of those comics that just goes up and just rants, because people laugh sometimes when I rant. But also, if you don't know me and you see how big I am and you see me angry, it's intimidating. So a lot of crowds are like, well, we don't like the sad clown. Woo! And you got to go back to like, and then my son said, whoa!
Yeah.
I got to turn into the armoire from Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah. Whoa!
Ah! He said sarsaparilla. That's the word of the day.
That's the word of the day, everybody.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. Wow!
I would love it. That's how your set was designed.
That is how my set's designed. I just wait for someone to heckle something.
Michael made a cum joke. Wow.
Whoa! My bow tie spins. Whoa!
I like the direction the podcast is going.
It's just broken down into silliness, because that's what I do. I take these evil, dark, disgusting, black oil thoughts and I crush them down, and then I make a little diamond out of it. I'm like, hey guys, look, I made this butterfly.
That is the most confusing analogy for people to walk away with, because you're like, wait, do diamonds come from oil? And why did the butterfly get there?
I was just thinking oil. I should have said coal, that I could. Yeah,
no, because you were right. Because I think you were on a great path with like your dark, oily thoughts, and then you were trying to in your head be like, but how do I pull those out and make it oil into something nice? And you're like, so then I crush it down. Even though it's a liquid, I crush it down into solid form and then crush that into a diamond. That's how
good I am.
That's how much joy I bring into this world. Is I change the chemical properties of things.
I change the matter state.
And then I show you a diamond, and then you look back down, and it's a butterfly. I'm the David Blaine of comedy.
Yeah.
I'm Chris Angel. I'm a mind freak, baby.
Except I just take murderous thoughts and turn them into puns.
Yeah.
It's not that great when you break it down.
I take your shitty interactions and I turn them into gold.
Oh, man, that's so annoying.
I know it is.
But, all right, best place to sit in a baseball stadium to watch a game.
Ooh. So I like the second section, like just above like the people who are really there for baseball, like the bottom row people. But I don't want to be up high. I don't like to be...
Someone's bougie. All right.
But I like that second set where you're like, you can see the game, you can enjoy it, but baseball is not my sport.
No.
So if I'm at a game, I want to be able to chat and be, whatever. But I don't want to bother people who are real baseball fans.
You know what I would love to see? All right, well, okay. Yes, I agree with you. Second section, that is pretty good. Third section, that's where the heathens go. That's kind of when they put the
people who want to go watch baseball, but their life just doesn't afford them better privileges.
Let's just put it this way. If the people in the highest section of a baseball stadium were on the Titanic, they would not get a lifeboat.
Yeah. I always think of it as they're as much of a fan as the people on the bottom section, but they're socially willing to take way more risk than the people. Like, they'll get in a fight. They're a kind of fan that'll get in a fight because you don't like their pitcher, whereas the bottom row people will be like, oh, no, I love our pitcher, and I think you're ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the difference. People in the middle, they have no skin in the game. They decided this is an outing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I don't like baseball.
I don't either. I was going to say, the last question I was going to ask you is, what would be the best rule to add to baseball to make it more exciting?
Contact at the bases.
Okay.
You can run, you can run through, but you also can be hit at the base.
Yeah. You can be shoved or see, I think.
Like a zone around the base where it becomes okay to have contact.
Okay.
Like
the draw a sphere around the base. Every base has a sphere around it.
Yeah.
If you're in there, or if you're sitting there on base waiting for a pitch, the first baseman can shove you. Like,
yeah.
They're fighting while they're on it.
Yeah, you're positioning.
It becomes king of the mountain at that point. I like that. The other one I would suggest is, have you heard about the new ghost runner rule? If it goes into extra innings, if it goes anything past the ninth inning, you automatically start every team starts with a runner on second.
Oh.
To start the inning, right?
A little extra pressure.
Right. So teams have they always pick their fastest player to go out there on second base.
Yeah.
And then hopefully they get a base hit and they can score a run, you know? I think teams should not be allowed to pick who's on second. They have to use whoever threw out the first pitch of the game. So whatever local celebrity,
that's great.
Make-A-Wish kid, none.
You got to put them on second.
They're on second. 10th inning, Sister Mary Francis is trying to steal third. You know?
You better stay warm.
And if she's in the zone of contact, Sister Mary might get some elbows. You know what I mean?
Can we add one more element? Because here's the other rule I think would be great. You know, when the batter and the pitcher start to jaw at each other and it looks like there's going to be a fight in the bench clearing and all that, no longer are you allowed to bench clear. If they start to chip at each other, hockey rules. Those two square up fight.
On the mound.
And everybody can come around and cheer them on, but no other fighting. These two, but it's a clean fight to the ground.
Each team lines up. Away team lines up on third base line. Home team lines up on the first base line.
Yeah.
And they have to cheer for the two people on the mound duking it out.
They're just clapping their gloves. You know, like hockey players smack their sticks. They're just clapping their gloves, you know, and rooting them on. And it's a clean fight to the ground.
To the ground.
Because that's how hockey is. It's either a knockout or whoever gets pushed down to the ground, basically.
Yeah.
So if you're a pitcher, learn jiu-jitsu.
I like that. No. That drives me nuts.
If you just got to get them to the ground, though. I'm saying if you're a pitcher, you don't want to risk your arm just because you got to throw heat. You're going to go ambidextrous for a fight?
I would say if you're a pitcher, you should learn kickboxing.
Ooh.
So that way, if you're in a fight,
that would be hilarious. A pitcher that does capoeira and he just dance kicks a guy down. That would be great.
That's what I want to see. Okay, I think that's enough time. That's probably good enough. We got all our bad feelings out. We got some clips out of it, right?
I think so.
Do you want to plug your social media and anything upcoming one more time?
Well, yeah. First, to your listeners, you may not know this, even though I have a deep history on this podcast. I'm working on. You made a comment to me. We've been staying together yesterday, and you made a comment I'm aware of, dude. You brought up that I cut you off several times.
That was just this morning because I hadn't had coffee and I was grumpy.
No, it's fine because I have been aware of that. That I get very much into the playful mode, and so when I see it rolling, I want to jump in too because I'm like, oh, it's double I want to get in the mix, but I am. So I want to apologize to your listeners if it bothers them, but also to you. I am working on being You can play. Just sit back and enjoy it and wait for your time. Roll with the roll. Don't be too aggressive. But so anyway, I just want to put that out there. But as far as plugging, man, I have a show this fall. It's going to be a monthly showcase at Third Coast Comedy Club in Nashville, Tennessee. It's called Nashville Hot. It's going to feature up-and-coming feature acts. So it's going to be just a limited lineup of people who are like road comics, bigger acts, doing feature sets. We're also going to record this, and we're going to try to work that into an online thing so people can check it out before they come to Nashville. And then my social media at YetmanMT on Instagram. And then check me out on YouTube. I got shorts and stuff. I'm working some new projects. So
Now, instead of thinking about the asshole outside today, I'm going to be thinking about, you shouldn't have told Michael he interrupted you. You should have.
No.
That was rude. You shouldn't have done
Eric,
that.
no, this is a great
now
moment.
now I'm just going to like, now I went from being like, I am a champion, to being like, I'm such an idiot.
No, Eric, that's what I'm saying. That's the beautiful. Lao Tzu said, knowledge is the things you put in, and wisdom is the things that you remove from your life. And I'm doing so much better at hearing people put things into my life, and I'm pulling away the bad things. It's a positive interaction.
Well, Lao Tzu might have said that, but Quiet Beth told me.
I hate you,
Dude.
Lao Tzu.
Is that not what you said?
Lao Tzu,
Oh,
TSU.
her as well.
Yeah,
But,
that's an old Chinese man, but I'm with you.
oh, okay. Well, Quiet Beth told me. See, I interrupt too. I want to play. We're both puppies. We
Yeah.
both want to just. I want to play.
I don't get upset about it. Like I never do it. You know, I think that one of the biggest things that sucks for comedy now and it's harder is like a lot of people need to take things in with context. Like when we're doing something like that, when I cut you off, I think you know he's not trying to be a dickhead. He just got excited. And I think by and large, most people get that. But you know how it is. Some people, there's some distance between us. Like when this goes out online, there's distance between that person and me. There's a whole screen distance, you know? And maybe they don't take it in with the same context. They don't know me. I'm nobody. Unknown. Can you flash that on me? Unknown. Yeah, unknown. And so I think it's interesting because I know that people in my life, you know that I'm not cutting you off to be rude or a dickhead. But if somebody's watching it, I can just see, and not that I care, but I can see the comments coming in like, by the way, the best comment ever made about me on this podcast is he's got cold pizza teeth. That may be the greatest fucking insult I've ever heard. That made me laugh so hard, that remix that person made.
I was so torn when I read that comment because most comments are attacking me, which I don't mind because whatever, you know. But as your friend, I read that and I just went, oh no, like that. And I was like, I laughed.
Oh, for sure, you have to.
I laughed, but then I was like, he is a great guy, and he works so hard, and for you to attack
context.
him, I understand.
Right? They don't know me.
We talked about that where you were like, I like cold pizza better than hot pizza, and then someone remixed it and just goes, I know you fucking lying. Like,
yeah. And then somebody literally put in the comments, he got cold pizza teeth. And that shit, here's the thing. What I love about that is, like, I love to laugh and I love to smile. And I do have goofy chompers. I know it. I'm working on it. I decided at one point, like, I can either stop laughing, which I love to do. I don't have a sexy laugh. I don't have a sexy smile. But damn it, if I don't love to laugh. And so that's the risk I take. And to be fair, that was a clever... If somebody's just like, he got gross teeth, like that would be whatever. But if somebody has the thought, that's why I love the internet. Everybody can be funny at least once online. Yeah. And when they do, man, when they strike, when lightning hits the sand and you get glass, dude, that shit is awesome. Well, but it is hilarious to sit there and be like, damn, I really do look like that out there in the world.
That comment dethroned my first ever comment. First ever comment I got, I was so excited because I was like, oh, somebody watched the podcast. Somebody commented. And I opened it up, and it was an Indian dude, and it just said, obese. Like and I
remember that, yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, this is how it starts. Okay, all right.
Yeah, you think about...
And then I realized, like, that's actually very funny. And it made me... Because it wasn't like, you're fat fuck, you're stupid. Whatever.
Yeah,
It was just
a fact.
It was just like, Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. It's just cold hard. Like this guy. This is what this guy sees. And then when I read he got cold pizza teeth. Whoo! I mean,
You forget, you open up your store like Walmart, you forget, like, you unlock the doors, anybody can come in. You think just people you want shopping there are going to be there.
yeah, you get so excited.
Anybody.
Like, we're open for business. And then you realize, like, oh.
And then the first person through the door is wearing Minion pajama pants, and you're like, fuck, I forgot anybody can come here.
Yeah, that's right. That's the problem with competitive prices. I think that's why Whole Foods is so expensive.
Yeah.
I can't shop there. Can
No.
you shop there?
No.
Because I think they're like, hey, this loaf of bread is $27 because we don't want your Crocs and Steelers pajamas. In
That's
you know
that's
what I mean?
it. This loaf of bread is $27, but guess what? You don't have to look at a gross person when you buy it. That's what you're getting when you go to Whole Foods, is you can walk around and not
That's why
worry.
the food tastes so good because it's never seen ugly people.
Have you seen the video? Have you seen the videos of? It's been a big deal in Chicago. They're pulling Walmarts out of like the Chicago area because there's been all these videos of like people looting it and all that. And then there's this video of this woman who's just on top of a pile of like mangoes or something, just twerking. And somebody's like, there's a lady filming it being like, that's why we can't have fresh food in the hood. And it's just like, it's hilarious because she's right. Like, they're destroying their own local economy or whatever. But also the idea of like, you go in there, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna get a few mangoes on my way home. I'm gonna make a mango salad.
And you walk in,
And there's just a girl just slamming her pussy on top of a pile of them. And you're like, oh, man. Sure, move out to Chicago, they said. Gonna be worth it. Big city, a lot of industry.
yeah, I think I'm good. You know what?
Guess it's Taco Bell again.
I don't really want mangoes that bad.
And you're like somehow the rude person when you're like, excuse me, what are you doing? Like, I just want to get a mango. Yeah, I'm doing something.
Yeah, excuse me. Could you move your fallopian tubes for just a second? I just wanted to grab this mango. You're sitting there thunking it like, is it ripe yet? Is it ripe? And then next to you is just, yeah. You're like, it's not really firm. You're like, excuse me, where are the honeydew? And you're like, you don't want to.
You don't want to see the honeydew right now.
You don't want to know what's going on in the honeydew section, right?
I think there might be a leak in the.
Excuse me, where are the cherries? And you're like, sir, we had an incident earlier today. Yeah. We actually had to outlaw cherries in the state of Illinois because.
I had a guy at the gym one time. He was just standing in a squat rack, and I wanted to go do a workout over there. And I came over, and was like, hey, man, are you using this? And he goes, yeah. I was like, oh, okay, my bad, dude. And I walk away, and I go to do something else, and I look up, and then the whole 15 minutes I'm doing my thing somewhere else, this guy's just leaning on the squat rack, playing on his phone. And I was just like, there's that moment where I'm like, I mean, he has the right to be there. It's public shared space or whatever. But I was like, dude, what a social dickhead you are right now. Like,
oh, yeah.
You know, like, okay, he could have even said, I'm not using it right now, but I am in a few minutes. How long are you going to be? And if I would have been like, hey, I'm going to be 10 minutes.
That's the thing. That's why I always would approach people with, hey, how many sets you got left?
Yeah.
Because if they're like, oh, 5, be like, oh, okay, cool. I'll come back in a little bit. But if they're like, I've only got 1 set left, be like, oh, cool. Well, I'll just wait here.
Right here and watch you do it.
Yeah, I'll spot you or whatever you want.
You know what I like to do now? If I want a space and there's someone over there, I like to sit nearby. I like to get really sweaty and sit nearby and just I'm
breathe.
I'm a real mouth breather, too. I have my headphones, so I can't even tell how loud I'm breathing.
Oh, my gosh. Have you ever done this? Where you're filming something?
Yeah.
You're like holding your phone up, filming it, and then you listen back to it later, and it's just...
in between words? Yeah.
And you're like, oh, my gosh.
Now, I want to quantify this a little bit. I just had dental work done, so my jaw's a little swollen still. But I do acknowledge that there's like a lisp in my words. So when I was first in radio, this was great. I used to do news. The amount of emails we got in my first 6 months of like, I don't like this guy in the news. He's not good at pronouncing words. And to be fair, I'd have to cold read. This is like, we're really fresh in Afghanistan kind of shit. Like we're like 5 years in to... Let's see, 5, 6. So it's probably 10 years into Afghanistan. So I'm getting all these names from the Middle East. I have to cold read them on. It says like Octaman, and I'm like, but then like one time I was doing severe weather coverage. We had an active tornado warning, and I have to be on the whole time on all of our stations. And we have
oh no, Sykeston's got severe sleep.
Yeah, so this is the problem. We start getting, I have to cover, I'm doing like a 6-hour run where I'm talking the whole time and I'm getting updates from people. And then one of my producer friends comes in there and slides me a piece of paper and it's like 12 comments that all say like similar things like, I hate the way this guy sounds. I don't know what kind of weather we're getting because I can't hear past all the slurring. And like, I mean, hateful shit.
It's just you saying like racial slurs.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be talking about the weather. And you're like,
and let me talk about the Danish for a second.
Polish, these damn Polacks over here. Like,
we're not paying enough attention to Iceland, and I want to bring that up. Oh, by the way, how about Sweden? Or was it Denmark? It was Denmark that had the...
I like how it's funny, like you and I both went to attacking all white countries.
Oh, yeah. What do you want me to say?
I want you to be ballsy, man. Tell me what you think about the Sudan.
Is Sudan in Africa?
Yes.
This is my sad...
Just don't.
But no,
it's all right.
What I was going to say is, here's my sad thing. Globally, so I lived in China, but like, even that, like... That's their space. It's not really. It's hard to make fun of people in their own space for living the way they live. But I genuinely don't. I'm not good at like individual cultures that aren't Western because I don't. It's a lot. There's so many. Like I think Middle Eastern is a big, broad spectrum of types of people. You know what I mean? But I'm not smart enough. Like if somebody's like, "Tell me about a Turkish person," I'd be like, maybe flowy outfits. Because I don't know. Eric, I am not good at geographical.
Not laughing at that. I'm just laughing at the comedian in me wants to make a joke, but realizing that, like, that's a terrible idea. You know what I mean?
You're self-stopping a cancellation?
Yeah.
What is it Patrice said? All jokes come from the same place. They're not meant to be offensive necessarily. They all come from like the same place of just wanting to be funny, but it's like it's how people perceive them as whether or not it's bad.
I'm so jealous of some of the people I know that just don't care.
Yeah.
And they're like I have a buddy who doesn't have any kids and like he's starting off in comedy and stuff like that, and he is very, very funny. But he will take swings on pitches that I watch sail by. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, whoo. Yeah. Whoo, okay. All right. But I hate that part of me that's like, don't swing. Wait for your pitch.
Yeah.
I don't know. A little bit, at least.
No, I hear you because I feel the same way to an extent.
Just can't stand. Oh, man. I'll tell you off camera what I was going to say, but.
I love it. But yeah, at YetmanMT on Instagram.
I forgot that like 10 minutes ago. I was like, all right, we'll wrap it up.
Yeah. No, I just didn't want to ruin I knew what you're trying to do. I love you all. This is always fun. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, real quick. One thing I do like you were talking about how in China, like you don't want to talk about it because you're on the outside looking in or whatever. Like that's kind of how I feel when I hear people talk about the military. And I always tell people, I'm like, hey, man, in a very strange way, it's like being black and saying the N-word. You have to be in the club to do it. You know what I mean? Like, you can say things about the military, but also at the same time, like...
There's a line.
Watch yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, most people are cool, but at the same time, like, show some respect. I had a video kind of go semi-viral where... I talked about watching Star Wars on deployment and realizing
that you're
like, oh fuck, we're the stormtroopers, man, like that. And everybody's blowing up and like commenting on it, which is fine because they're arguing with each other, so I don't have to do anything. But it's like that's not why we joined. You know what I mean? Like that's not why people joined the military. They weren't like, I can't wait to go kill all these rebels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like it was posed as we're in danger. We need help.
Forgotten country. You know? I'm the line between my parents dying.
Exactly. They were like, hey, do you want September 11th to happen again?
Yeah.
And you're like, no. And they're like, well, then you have to go fight or they're going to come back. And we were like, oh, man, we have to go protect things. And then you get there and you're like,
to be an American,
wait a minute. I feel like I might have been lied to a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is one of the things it's so hard now to watch how Afghanistan ended and even Iraq and stuff like that and realize like nothing changed.
Well, look,
Like why were wait a minute. And like the way that it ended when they pulled everybody out and it's like we left all the equipment behind and stuff like that. And it just blows my mind because do you know how much trouble you would get in if you lost a battery?
oh yeah,
A battery. Not even like an important battery, but like there was one time where everybody was supposed to have 2 AA batteries in their pack just in case. I had 1 AA battery in my pack. I got hazed for missing 1 AA battery. We left helicopters behind. We left Humvees. We left rifles and everything behind. And
it's
it
like
was
when you move out an
it
older.
was like, shut up about it. It's not your business what we leave behind. It's like, but it is.
It's like when you move out an apartment with a buddy or something. You're like, I don't really want that IKEA table. I'm just gonna leave it. You know what I mean? Like whenever I'd move out of old places, and I'd be like, I really don't want to have to move this table, so I'm just gonna leave it behind. The U.S. is just leaving a fully furnished
we
apartment.
used to do these things where, like, so before my first deployment, they would give out packing lists. You would put all your stuff out on your bed, and they'd come through. It had to be every bed looked exactly the same with everything in the exact same spot, so they could easily check.
Yeah,
be like, it's all there. Cool. Bye. You know, on to the next one. On to the next one. And then once they left, the people like couple ranks down would come around and be like, take what you need, not what they say you need.
Yeah.
Because they would tell you way too much stuff. So that's how it always was. Then one day we go on this field op, right? This just training exercise. And we've had the packing inspection. Everybody's passed. We're out in the field doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, everybody set up the packing list. We want to make sure everybody brought everything. Well, obviously, everybody was like, well, I don't need 7 bars of soap. Fuck that. I don't need, we're going to be here 4 days. I don't need 9 pairs of socks. Gone, you know, like that. Man, we got in so much trouble, and it was like, but we were
being logical.
We were doing what we've always done.
They're like, you're not here to think.
Yeah.
You're not here to think.
I don't want to hear
We
it.
gave you a packing list.
I don't want to hear it. It's so crazy to me. The amount of shit that I had to go through for not bringing an extra pair of shoestrings.
Yeah.
You know, or having 1 washcloth instead of 2, or just the most minute things. And it's like, where was it? Did you leave it behind? Did you lose it?
Yeah.
Go find it, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, well, we're on a ship in the middle of the ocean. I don't know where the fuck you think I'm going to get.
Can I get that shit helicoptered in?
Yeah. You guys want to do I don't think Amazon comes out to the South Indian Ocean. You know?
What if they did?
Yeah, it was like this
Package for Roosler?
yeah. But I don't know. And then to watch the way Afghanistan ended, and they were just like, "I'll leave it, bye," and then just left everything, and it's just like, okay, so wait, but
what was I doing?
Wait a minute, why were we there?
Yeah,
and it's like, oh,
poppy fields.
We don't really know. Like, and it's one of those things too. It's like, stop asking questions.
Yeah. Why do you care so much?
Why do you care? What are you, a terrorist?
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
Why do you hate America, Eric?
Yeah, exactly. oh, sorry, you're not patriotic anymore.
Yeah, I guess you don't want to spread democracy.
I'm sorry. I just feel like my entire life was a lie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just have some questions, and
This is
stop
where-
asking questions.
I will say this is where the Chinese definitely cornered the market, because my boss in China, I remember one time they told me to do something, and I came in there asking questions. I was like, so why am I doing this? And my boss looks at me and she goes, no, why? I go, no. She goes, yeah, no, why? And then I found out that's the rule of thumb. You're not allowed to question up. So it's no why.
No why.
There's no asking why. You just do it. Oh, man, that got under my skin so much. I'd be like, no, there is a why, motherfucker.
Yeah, big Y.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, super Y.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well.
This would be fun to cut up.
Yeah. Right. Well, no, we've got coverage. We got coverage. All right. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. Sorry I was in a crappy mood. But them's the breaks. All right. Thanks, buddy. Love you.
Love you.
All right, everybody. See you next week.